Are you kidding me? So, if you are still holding the left analog stick forward while you're in your mantle animation, apparently the game still classes Joel as standing at the end of that animation. But if you don't hold the left analog stick forward during the mantle animation, it will not cause the game to detect you. Why would that be a thing? That was never a problem in the original Last of Us. This wasn't even a problem in The Last of Us Part 2, at least to my memory. Why is this an issue here? So, whenever you are mantling to get behind an enemy in a stealth section, do not hold the left analog stick forward. It will cause Joel to register movement even though he's not registering movement in the game. And it will count against you, and the enemy will spot you. That's really bullshit. Yeah, you have to be even more cautious with the awareness on the enemies in this game. You can't give these enemies this kind of animation when Joel does a very ill-fitting stealth animation. Like, that stealth animation is not built for that kind of awareness on the enemies. In Last of Us Part 2, I feel like it made a bit more sense, because you could at least move while you were doing that stealth attack animation. But here, because they haven't updated the animation whatsoever, which I find very odd, considering The Last of Us Part 2 gave you the ability to move while you were stabbing the guy with the stealth attack, you would expect that mechanic to be transferred into here, because this is a remake. And if they're going to be changing these kind of variables on the enemies, your animations have to adjust accordingly to these kind of changes with the enemies. That's how you design a harder difficulty. That's how that works, but I don't understand why they haven't changed Joel's animation or given him the ability to move while he's busy choking out the guy with a stealth attack. That's so confusing.
Robert must have. Let's go.
What? God, that's bullshit! I was lucky he didn't shoot me just then. That's retarded. Why would they have that? Why on earth would they have that kind of mechanic getting in the way? Just lock the door behind you. I don't get that. Again! That's such fucking bullshit! Like, I'm so used to moving the left analog stick while I'm in a mantle animation in every other stealth game in existence, even The Last of Us Remastered, even The Last of Us Part 2, but here, they punish you for holding the left analog stick to continue moving after you do your mantle animation. All I wanted to do was get behind this guy, but I had to mantle in order to actually close in on him, but because I was still holding my left analog stick forward, he heard me. Because for some reason, this game has a weird bug where it registers standing movement during your mantle animation. It's almost like the game is confused as to whether Joel is standing or crouched during the mantle animation. And because the enemies can hear you while you're standing in this game, which is a massive change from The Last of Us Remastered, he heard me just then. And that's going to get you screwed in so many of the encounters, because that is a standard in so many stealth games. It's a standard in so many stealth games to be able to move the left analog stick forward while you're mantling, and it doesn't generate noise. But why is it so different here? How could they miss this when they were remaking this game from the ground up? I don't understand. How the fuck does he... That's bullshit. See, this is what I don't understand. This is why I don't understand these changes in the enemy perception starting from The Last of Us Part 2. That guy was running, and because of the fact that grounded difficulty increases the speed at which the enemies recognize you, and it doesn't seem to be moderated by distance, that guy was able to see me while he was running to the right. There is no possible way he should have been able to see me. That right there is really stupid. I don't like that about the changes in the enemy perceptions on grounded difficulty starting from The Last of Us Part 2. He's just... what the fuck do you do about that guy? Look! Infinite fucking range! Under vision! He's still just looking in this direction! He's still looking in this direction! What the fuck do you do? I'm really at my wit's end with this stupid section. Like, look! Look at him! He's just gonna be staring down this area the entire time. And I can't risk using a bottle because there's no telling what the enemies do. Like, this section's so rigidly designed. If this was a tutorial section, then I could understand why it would be designed the way it is. But this is a simple stealth encounter that worked perfectly fine in The Last of Us Remastered, but now I'm having to deal with this asshole because of the changes that they've made with grounded difficulty starting from The Last of Us Part 2. The way this section's meant to be, it's meant to be a spectacle section. I just wish it would communicate it better, because this feels like a section that's meant for gameplay, not a spectacle moment. And spectacle in the sense that you're not really meant to be engaging with the enemies. You're not really meant to be doing this in the traditional stealth sense. You're just waiting for the enemies to move, and then you follow your AI companion's directions. When they move, you move. But it's just not clear. But just right here, to even get past the guy who is up there, that guy up there on the walkway, you have to go all the way to the right when you exit this building, because his vision at least has a limit on it. Okay, so as soon as they move, that's when I need to move, right here. And it didn't work just then. And he still saw me. How? How did he still see me? There's just absolutely no sense to this. This is bullshit! This is such fucking bullshit! How the hell are you supposed to move just as fast as the AI in order to get past this guy? You can't! You can't fucking do it! I can't even stand up! If I stand up, the guy behind me will see me! He'll actually hear me! Because they changed that! What the fuck do you do here? How did he not see me? Just how? Yeah, this is just rigidly designed. You have to do it in one specific way, otherwise you're gonna get fucked. It's like the Uncharted 1 developers who made brutal difficulty designed this section. Like, they designed a difficulty modifier that doesn't fit the face validity of this section. That guy on the walkway sees you so fast. Randomly. It's so sporadic. Like, how he doesn't see me right here, I don't know. It makes no sense. But I have to pretty much move the moment that guy moves past me and the AI moves. As soon as the AI moves, that's when I need to move. Like, this is just so unusual.
Up there.
It's so unusual. It's a spectacle section. You're meant to be moving around with the AI at all times. Like, when they move, you move, but it just doesn't communicate it very well. Oh good, you can move runners around. You couldn't do that in The Last of Us Remastered. So they took that change, yet they didn't give you the ability to move the enemies around while you were choking them out, like you can in The Last of Us Part 2 when Ellie stabs them from behind and she moves them around. So why would they give you the ability to move runners around when you grab them, yet not give you the ability to move enemies around while you're busy choking them out? That doesn't make any sense at all. Are you fucking serious? What the fuck is that bullshit? So I went into the animation of throwing away my weapon. So apparently that's a new animation they've added. And it stopped me from actually killing that runner. So that runner was able to get a cheap hit on me because of that. That's retarded on so many levels. So it seems carrying weapons around and having them break is going to be even more of a problem. It was never a problem in The Last of Us Remastered, but now it's a problem here. And I don't even remember this being a problem in The Last of Us Part 2. But that's literally on par with Resident Evil 2 Remake, where you break your knife, and then the character goes into that animation of inspecting their broken knife, and that completely stops them from doing any kind of animation. So it stops them from sprinting, it stops them from turning, so the enemies could get a cheap hit on you if you went into the animation of breaking your knife. What individual on the planet would waste time inspecting their knife while there's an enemy right in front of them? Who the fuck does that? That's stupid. And this happened right here. So be very careful when you break weapons on enemies, because it'll stop you from meleeing them for the time being, and it will allow them to get a cheap hit on you. So dumb. I do like that they at least fixed the runners on this game with the stealth. At least the runners, when they actually move around, they're not flailing around. And a lot of the times when the runners were flailing around in The Last of Us Remastered, they just spotted you because they happen to turn their head in the split of a second and just spot you. And the runners spotted you instantly on The Last of Us Remastered. There was no kind of social status icon with them. There was no delay before they spotted you. They just immediately spotted you, and it was bullshit. But here, I'm glad they changed this with the runners. It's the one thing I can appreciate about this game. Such bullshit! That is such fucking bullshit! What if I was low on health? I could be killed! Because I'm sitting through that shitty animation of Joel inspecting his weapon being broken. What a load of shit! And you can't even get rid of melee weapons once you acquire them! See, no, what the hell? Look at that. I was in the middle of a combo, and he was able to cancel his flinch animation into a context-sensitive attack. So I see that the context-sensitive animations that the enemies do in The Last of Us Remastered, that is so bullshit, because they are able to get high priority over you at any moment by doing this animation. It's still a problem in this game, but it's more of a problem because of how crap Joel's melee is now. Joel's melee is somehow even worse on The Last of Us Remake compared to The Last of Us Remastered, because he's slower. They made his animations for the combos so slow, and it's slow to the point where the enemies have plenty of time to recover from their flinch animation, and then do this. How is that good? How is that fair? That is such a load of trash. Bullshit! This is why I hate these context-sensitive animations. They just happen to occur at the worst possible moment, and you have no way of avoiding them. At least in Last of Us Part 2, they gave you a way to avoid these context-sensitive attacks, but anytime you're near a wall and an enemy's closing in on you, you have no chance of avoiding them. They get so much priority on that animation, and it's still a problem from Last of Us Remastered. And again, this enemy system that they're using is reused from The Last of Us Part 2, and these enemies are built for a protagonist who is capable of dodging, not for someone like Joel. Why they took away the dodge system, I don't know. Yeah, that's Abby's animation. She's doing Abby's animations. Look at Tess go! Come on, that's fucking bullshit! I should have had high priority right there. I pressed square. But because me doing an animation doesn't cause him to do some kind of specific animation for this paired animation system, he was able to be independent of what I was doing and just do this animation of pitting me against the wall, because the context-sensitive melee that the infected do has way too much priority in The Last of Us Remastered and in this game. And again, in Last of Us Part 2, you could dodge this kind of crap, but you can't here. That is so dumb! Why does he push him back? And then, you're so slow to actually recover from the animation. This was never a problem in the first Last of Us. Joel was so quick to immediately initiate his melee attack after that big punch that he does as part of the 3-hit combo. And it just gives the enemy a free chance to hit him. What is with that? What were they thinking when designing this? I would honestly say that this is the worst melee system in the Last of Us series. What? Fuck that. Oh my god, that's so fucking dumb! Why do they have to make it where square is the button you use to swap weapons? So because my weapon cross was up, I couldn't punch. I wish they would change that. Having it be X in The Last of Us Remastered made so much sense. There weren't any moments where I was trying to melee and Joel just pulls out his backpack. All I was trying to do was swap to my shotgun to take out this guy, but then I thought, oh, I'll just take him out with melee. But because my weapon cross was still up, Joel was just pulling out his backpack instead of meleeing. So stupid. What the fuck? Why did he not do the running attack? What was he doing? All he did was just glide towards the enemy and then do nothing. Is this a problem that occurs when you have a two-handed weapon equipped? He doesn't do the running attack, he tries to do some kind of punch, but it doesn't register? What is this? God, that is so slow. Anytime he does that big hit with the 3-hit combo, he's so slow to attack. Like, what happens if you're near a wall and that infected ends up doing that context-sensitive grab that they always do? Oh my god, it's so dumb. Why do they make it so slow in this game? Oh, 8 shotgun shell. Oh, they're giving you so much more ammo. I don't know who designed grounded difficulty on this game, but grounded difficulty in The Last of Us Remake seems to give you more ammo than usual. And I can tell I'm playing on grounded. I am on grounded right here, but normally that would give you 4 shotgun shells in The Last of Us Remastered, but here it's 8. I wonder if they give you more ammunition in The Last of Us Remake because of the problems with the melee. Like, with some of the new advantages the enemies have, and some of the vulnerabilities that you have in this game compared to The Last of Us Remastered. So I guess there's some kind of trade-off here. Maybe that's what it means. See, like, there's that delay again. There's that delay on the very first hit that Joel does. I think it's caused by you equipping a two-handed weapon. Because I have my shotgun out, it seems like Joel was trying to do the animation that he does in The Last of Us Remastered, where he actually butts an enemy with the back of his gun. But it's almost like they neglected the animation, so it leads to additional delay. So you have to make sure you don't have a two-handed gun out when you go to melee, because it leads to that delay. That runner could have easily hit me just then. This is so dumb. Why can't you grab enemies from the front? So you mean to tell me I'm gonna fall victim to this problem with the AI where they have such strong peripheral vision that even the slightest turn of their head, like the slightest flick of their head during some kind of neutral, like, idle animation is enough for them to spot me? I don't get it. I don't understand how that's possible, that they would make this kind of mistake.
Whatever you want.
Shaka! What is this? There's so much ammunition now! It's revolver ammo! This was not here in The Last of Us Remastered! Oh my, this is incredible. In order to give the player increased incentive to loot areas that they would never really go to in The Last of Us Remastered if you knew the locations, they've added new locations for ammunition in this game. That is so cool. 3 revolver ammo, and then a couple of shotgun shells, and then previously back in that big combat arena, there was some sniper rifle ammo and some revolver ammo. None of these were there in The Last of Us Remastered. This is incredible. What an amazing incentive to indulge in the world again.
They're shooting at us. It's stupid.
Well, that's a
Could've got
bug.
away.
These guys are not supposed to be standing here. They're supposed to be standing right there having the
In
conversation.
the crosshairs.
I see Pittsburgh still has buggy as in The Last of Us Remastered, but this is a new kind of bug entirely.
Holy shit. Whoa!
So dumb. I could have probably done that in The Last of Us Remastered. I could have done that in Last of Us Part 2, but he refuses to grab enemies from the front. That guy is completely unaware. There is no possible way he should be able to react quickly to me grabbing him from the front. It's just a stupid handicap, just to artificially increase the difficulty of the stealth.
Oh, I'm so fucking tired. We were up all night chasing these tours.
Oh yeah, you were a part of that?
That is so buggy. That guy is not supposed to be there. Why is he not moving forward to do his conversation? How did these bugs escape QA's eyes? I don't get it.
Let's wrap this up, right?
Alright, whatever.
Well, excuse me, what the fuck? Why did he turn around?
Right?
No. I guess he turns if you don't let them finish the conversation. That is interesting. Okay, so it's not a bug, it's an intended design choice.
Right?
Alright, whatever.
Oh, what? Come on! It's gonna be that strict? You have to wait until the subtitles go away or something? That's dumb. Oh, what? That's still a problem? Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? If you don't examine the door before turning on the power, Joel will opt to inspect the door rather than using the key card. How have they not fixed this? They remade this game from the ground up, and you're telling me they didn't update the scripting for this? They updated the scripting back in that museum encounter where you can't just simply use the plank while those runners are around? Yet they haven't fixed this? Are you kidding me? What is up with that? See, I don't get it, guys. Abby did a very similar strangle animation in The Last of Us Part 2, yet she had the ability to move while she was strangling the enemy. It wasn't much movement, bear in mind. Ellie moved way more when she was stabbing enemies compared to Abby, but it was still something. So why couldn't they refine Joel's animation to mirror Abby's strangle animation? I mean, yes, it would have been weird, but it would still been so much more convenient for actually hiding bodies or for actually remaining less visible to the enemies while you were strangling them. But I have to resort to some of the clunkiest movement ever in order to ensure that I hide the bodies. That just makes no sense.
Crew. 76 lookout guys. Some tourists killed them. Kill all of them.
See, I don't understand that. You see that? My camera wasn't on him, right? Yet I was in his line of sight, and he wasn't seeing me. Soon as I turn towards him, he somehow sees me. He's somehow actually seeing me when he's on camera. So it seems like the placement of your camera has an impact on the enemy's vision cone somehow. It's almost like your hitbox shifts towards the enemy that you're looking at, and that's what allows them to spot you. That is so weird. Look at him just turning around like that. Fucking retarded! Look at that! Look at that bullshit! This is why I don't understand why you don't have the ability to grab enemies from the front! His head was not looking at me! His head was not facing my direction! I should have been able to grab him just then! If this was Last of Us Remastered, if this was Last of Us Part 2, I should have been able to grab him. But the game refuses to let Joel grab enemies from the front. Why? Why does it do that? Wait, what? How'd that work just then? I still have my bottle. I still have my bottle. He didn't get stunned, yet it let me grab him somehow. Why? Why did it let me grab him just then, even though he was looking at me? Oh, come on! Fucking bullshit, once again! I was holding the analog stick to continue moving after I mantled, and he heard me because, again, the game has trouble understanding if Joel is standing or crouching while he's moving during the mantle animation, which it shouldn't be doing that during a mantle animation. How that slipped the developers' minds, I don't know.
Keep looking.
That fucking bullshit. Look at that. I was even at his side, and it wouldn't give me the prompt to grab him. It's like they knew that they had the turning animations with the unaware state of the enemies. And so to prevent the possibility of these enemies doing a turning animation and completely screwing up the scripted sequence, they had them go into their investigative state. Where's the second guy? Okay, there he is. Oh, nope, they can still see me from behind. That's retarded. Come on. Okay, there is a pattern to the way the turret fires. It does one shot, then it does 3 arcing shots. Then it repeats the pattern. Oh shit! See, look at that! This is why I don't understand why there's this delay on your melee when you break your melee weapon. I mean, I ran past the guy because I was mashing square and I was moving forward to just continue my combo, and Joel just wasn't doing anything. Why is it so awkward? I can't tell if you heard that or not, because the audio bugs... Yeah, see, he heard it. So why is it that there are times when you use this distraction, the enemies don't give any kind of audio indication? This must be an audio bug. It has to be. So anytime you throw a distraction, and you don't hear any enemy acknowledge the noise, don't immediately assume they didn't hear it. Assume that they did hear it and just hide for a bit. You shouldn't have to do that. If this game had better audio programming on these distractions, then it would speak for itself. One more fucking time. Again, the 3rd hit on Joel's combo. The recovery time is too long. That enemy nearly had a chance to hit me. How is that good? Why the fuck would they slow the melee down on this game to allow these kind of problems to occur? Anyone and their mother could look at that and just understand the consequences involved with that. Oh, that was just an audio bug. Wow. Another audio bug? I saw this same exact problem in Last of Us Part 2. I remember this from my grounded walkthrough. There were times where the enemies would call out to their friends and they wouldn't get a response. And normally this means that they would go investigate where their friend was. But here, that didn't happen. It's an audio bug. It's the same audio bug I remember from The Last of Us Part 2. I encountered it in Seattle Day 3 of Ellie's section, and I encountered it in the final chapter of The Last of Us Part 2. So they haven't fixed it whatsoever. Of course. Of fucking course. Move the left analog stick while mantling, and this guy detects me. How dumb can this game be with its programming? This is definitely a bug. How the fuck did he hear me? I didn't even move the left analog stick. All I did was move, and this guy just heard me. Is this a mandatory combat encounter? Like, do I have to eliminate these enemies before I progress onward? What the fuck? Oh, that time it worked. That time it worked. I don't know at what point in this Mantle animation the game is still registering my movement. Like, at what point does it stop? At what point after the Mantle animation is done does the game stop registering my movement so that that enemy can hear me? Fucking bullshit. Yet again, this movement problem with mantling. And that time I did aim, but I was moving the left analog stick before I was aiming. Like, I was holding L2 and moving the left analog stick at the same time, but it registered the movement first before it registered my aiming. Oh, fuck off! Fuck right off with this turning animation crap! Too 2 turning animations in a row. How is that good? I mean, they might as well just spam turning animations like crazy if they're gonna keep moving around. No one would ever stealth them. Furthermore, this is going to mess up their pathing so much. I could understand it was just 1 turning animation per walk cycle, but they just do the turning animation whenever they want. It's bullshit. What? What the fuck is that bullshit? She didn't flinch! She's supposed to flinch! What the fuck are you doing, Joel? Is this just a general problem when you have a weapon out? It's like Joel has trouble actually pulling out his fist to do the melee attack when he has a weapon out. This was never an issue in The Last of Us Remastered or in The Last of Us Part 2. Why is it an issue now? I don't know why there are times where he doesn't throw the bottle. Of course. They've removed that mechanic. Are you fucking serious? They've removed the one thing that helps balance out this encounter because Ellie doesn't have the ability to melee enemies. They took away something that was only useful in very specific circumstances. It only presents itself in this one encounter, and it was truly a very interesting mechanic. It was something that actually felt believable. Something that actually felt like it was balanced. And they've turned this into a very generic section now. Now that they removed that mechanic. That's so stupid. See, what the fuck is that? What the fuck are they expecting you to do? Like, I'm running around with no ammunition for my sniper rifle. It takes too long to prep the bow, and they're expecting me to save him. So I go in to press square. I expect to do the instant kill animation, but no, she just does the simple slice that does absolutely no damage, and he gets a free grab on me. Are they this retarded? Did they seriously want to turn this into a tedious, just messy encounter? They turned something that worked fine the way it was, like amazing the way it was, into something so generic and lackluster and just prone to error and cumbersome mechanics. And scenarios like this. Badly designed scenarios like this. Are you kidding me? Okay, there's an invisible barrier in this fence right here. That's dumb. Yet you can see right through. He can see you through this fence. I can see him through this fence. Yet the hitbox isn't registered for some reason. Can't say I'm a big fan of the way the sequence plays out. I mean, the thing with The Last of Us Remastered is that a vast majority of the enemies concentrated around this gate when you killed the first 2 enemies. So you get rid of a vast majority of them. And therefore, you deal with less enemies in that area there. But it seems like a vast majority of the enemies don't really concentrate around this gate, or you just don't deal with this many enemies when the sequence first begins. So now I'm having to deal with the rest of the enemies here, and I'm having to backtrack back to generate the last known position. Oh, shit.
Now, asshole!
Where do I go?
How does he I can't even see him! And he can see me at that range? Why doesn't the snow screen play a role in reducing your visibility? For a remake, they could have indulged in new alternatives, just new mechanics like this, but they didn't.